Right, now time for Tech Tour Part 2. If you thought Part 1 was fun, well, we have got even more in store for you in Part 2. I think you're going to be very happy with this one. So let's head to where we left off in Part 1. Right, I've actually come back past Rotor again because we've got some additional products for you here. So we've got this bike fully kitted out, it's a Quintana route bike with profile design wheels. We've got the InSpider power meter that I mentioned just before. I forgot to mention though, it auto calibrates as it goes. So it's got a thermometer in there, also detects barometric pressure. So as it changes temperature, as you change altitude, it will auto calibrate and adjust that power. So you're not having to do that since you first calibrate it. But the bit I've come here to take a look at is their new group set. This is the Rotor 1x13 group set. Now, we've discussed this group set before for the road, but this is their new TT setup. So as the name suggests, it's a 1x setup, but with 13 gears on the back. It's a hydraulic setup. So all we do, if we take a look at the front here, it's a single tap to go down, and then if you hold a little bit more, it goes back up. Now you can adjust the actual pressure on that lever here at the barrel adjuster nice and easily, and then just to adjust that gearing and the increments, there's just this little adjustment bit here. Right, so I'm currently at the Profile Design booth. Now they don't actually have anything brand new to show us, although apparently there is something coming. But what they do have is this, the Sonic Strike. Now this is a little trip down memory lane because we have seen all these bars like the speed bar and stuff coming out. Profile Design actually did this about 16 years ago. That's not bad, hey? It's not too dissimilar. So it's got this aero shape to it, so the forearms can just slot into it. And they're so interested in this, they've managed to reach out to their Hong Kong distributor who just so happened to have a set of these still knocking around. And they're actually going to now throw these into the wind tunnel just to see how aero they are. Well, I'm here at the Compex stand for a little bit of R&R. No, but in all seriousness, Compex is a brand that I used to use years ago. They used to have a device with a load of cables running through, and it would send electrical impulses to the muscles. How you want to use that is up to you. For myself, I used to use it for recovery purposes, but if you want to, you can even work on resistance training with it. You can use it on a flight to help flush the blood through the legs. But they have just released this, which is their Mini. So you can just clip this out, you can pop this onto the pads and just a couple of cables coming off. So a much more simple option. Apparently there is also a wireless version coming in the US very soon. But let's give you a little bit example here now, because I've got it set on the resistance function. Ready? There we go. And on the resistance function, you can actually fight this. You can do some squats whilst you're doing it. But look at that, like that's not me. This is the electrical impulses through these pads into the muscle. So yeah, I'm just going to sit here a while because this is making my legs look pretty good. Well, I have finally taken the pads off, but we have another product from Compex. Fairly new to the market, this is their Compex Fix. Now, it is essentially a personal massage device. We can play it in 3 different positions with this ball on the end, locked in there, and locked in here. You can charge the device, just pulling out the battery here, plugging that in, and then we have a couple of different settings here. So that's a slower setting, and then we'll whack it straight up to the full speed. Yeah, this might be my favourite booth. Right, so here at the Saris stand, this is their, well, soon to be released MP1 Infinity plate. Now, this is another attempt to make indoor cycling that a little bit more real. So this plate actually has lateral movement, so that's on a leaf spring. We've got 6 degrees either side. We've also got some rollers, so we've got fore and aft movement here. But essentially, the big thing here is when we get up out of the saddle, or if we're sprinting, we can just ride like we are on the road. Right, I'm here at the Rudy Project stand now, and we have a few new helmets for you. I'm going to start with this one on my head right now. This is the Wing, their aero helmet, or their triathlon helmet. It's a new iteration of their old Wing, but a slightly more streamlined and lower profile helmet. It's got a new exhaust feature on the back here for the airflow through. We've got a magnetic visor which is integrated. You can pull off like that. You could turn it upside down and snap it on there. We also have a magnetic attachment here, so you can increase the airflow there, and then also a nice adjustment system and quick to pull and tighten the strap up there. Now onto the other couple of helmets, we've got the Stream, so just a standard road design, and then their slightly more upgraded version is the Spectrum, and this is sitting somewhere between a classic road helmet and an aero road helmet. But again, this is a really nice design. It's got a mesh within here, I guess, to catch the flies and stuff, but all of this can be pulled out and washed if it gets dirty. So here at the Physique stand now, we've got a new saddle to add to their line of the collection. So we've got the Argo series here. This is the Argo Vento and the Argo Tempo here. So the difference we have is on the Vento, it's a slightly more aggressive saddle, so slightly less cushioning and tapered more towards the front end. Whereas on the Tempo, we have a little bit more cushioning and less of a taper. Now both of these are essentially new iterations of their short nose design saddles with a slight gap here and there. Now the Vento comes in two sizes. You've got the 140 and the 150 size, whereas the Tempo has a 150 and 160 size option. But both designs have this Flex Wings technology, which is a softer material just on the wing here, which is really useful when you're pedaling back and you can feel the saddle on the hamstring. So particularly a big issue with short nose design saddles. So that's just going to give a little bit more give there. Both of these have just been released in Europe a few weeks ago and are going to be released in the next couple of weeks in Northern America. I'm being a little bit sneaky here because I have a prototype product from Physique. Now this is due to be released in the next couple of months. This is the Physique Adaptive. Now Physique have actually collaborated with a company called Carbon. Now that brand has also worked with the likes of Adidas or Adidas from America, and they've used this 3D printed lattice structure on the top of their saddle, and it's actually got different densities or pressure throughout the saddle. So it's actually softer here than it is in this part here, and they've done that through pressure mapping different cyclists as they rode in a saddle, and then literally just whipped out these pressure mapped 3D printed lattice structures to suit that. Now this is really quite exciting. I'm not entirely sure what the material is, but hopefully we'll find a little bit more out in the next couple of months. Right, for this next tech piece, we've actually popped back to the GTN house because some very kind Irish fellas have just dropped this round. This is the Tetrapod. Now this was actually designed and founded by a chap called John Hanley from Sligo Triathlon Club from Ireland. Now this is essentially kind of a backpack that you can wear for open water swimming. It's there for safety purposes, so you can have a light on the top of here so you can be seen, but should you fall into difficulty, or should you just want to actually, you just reach around the back, pull this tab here, and this would come out. So we've got this very bright section here, but it inflates by activating the CO2 cartridge. So should you need to, you can then hold on to it or just be easily sighted, or I thought it was quite cool, just pull this clip here and you could give that to a friend if they were actually in difficulty. So really neat, and this is, I guess, to kind of go in the place of tow floats, or as well as if you wanted to. Some people out there don't like swimming with tow floats, so yeah, really nice, neat alternative option there.
Right, so it's Fraser here, jumping in on Mark's tech tour because rather luckily I have got my hands on some brand new wheels that Reynolds have released right here this week in Hawaii. Now this wheel set is their brand new deeper section wheel set, the AR80X, which is a disc brake ready wheel set. As you might have guessed from the name, it's 80mm depth in the rim. This entire system is a wheel system that Reynolds are quite proud of because they have built it all themselves. Obviously the rim here, the spokes they collaborate with Supreme to lace to their very own Reynolds hubs. Straight pull spokes, Reynolds tell me that this means that you just got a much comfier ride when you're out there riding on deep dish wheels. So that sounds pretty intriguing to me. These spokes, as you can probably tell from the camera here, are bladed spokes. We've got some alloy nipples. That all adds up to this wheel set being a little bit lighter than an equivalent wheel set that they do also make, which is rim brake ready. So these are about 70 grams lighter than the other wheel set that you can ride if you don't have disc brakes. What I should also mention talking about these being disc brake ready hubs, is that this is a central locking hub, so you can pull that disc off real easy for traveling, get it back on with some real accuracy rather than another 6-bolt locking system that means that you might just not have the same accuracy with putting your disc brake back on when traveling. So definitely something to look out for if you're in the market for a new set of wheels. We have got our hands on some brand new sunglasses from Rudy Project, and this pair in particular, the Propulse, is particularly interesting because it's their first foray into running specific glasses. These weigh a tantalizing 28 grams, very, very light indeed. So this is something that they're quite proud of. They've measured the optics to be different for in the upright position as opposed to down in a TT position when you're riding, as most of the Rudy glasses have been prior to this. So that's a really interesting addition to the Rudy Project range. As you can see, I'm wearing another pair on my eyes here, and this is a pair of casual or off-track, as they like to call them, glasses for everything that you're doing other than racing. Although you do see some people wearing this aviator type style when they're racing for a bit of a cool effect. But this pair here is called the Sky Trail. They have a wireframe, a polarized lens, and this is a rather nice bluey color that you can see in the lens, and a silver frame.
Well, I'm currently at the 4i stand on their new indoor trainer, although you might recognise it because it is essentially the old Stack trainer, that old orange trainer. It's now black, but there are a few other changes that they've made to the design since acquiring them back in April. Now, it still has the magnetic, or the magnets that increases the resistance on that rear wheel. The magnets work against the alloy rim of the wheel, but they've managed to remove the wheel weights from the wheel, which you used to have to place onto the spokes. Now, how it actually increases the resistance and intensity is really quite clever, because they've got these sensors on either side of the wheel back here, and they detect the spoke spinning around. So as I spin my pedals now, it's actually increasing the intensity, it's learning my cadence, and those magnets are continually just moving micro movements in and out. But if I was on an indoor train, because this is a smart train, so it's Bluetooth compatible and plus, so if I was using something like Zwift and I hit a hill, it will actually come closer into the rim of the wheel and increase that intensity. Oh, and now I'm at the Vision Center. We've got loads to look at here. I'm going to start off with their group set. Now, they've been working on their K-Force Wii group set for a while. It started out as a mechanical group set on the road, went to hydraulic, and now we're on to electronic. And this is their TT version. It's really quite cool because we've got a number of buttons on the front here, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and you can completely customize this as to whatever is most intuitive for yourself. So you can have them switching up or down, whichever way around you like. Then on the base bar, we've got the brake lever, and we've always got like a switch panel here. So we can change that to however you like, and then also button on the inside on either brake lever. As I mentioned already, this is all electronic, and at the moment isn't actually released to the public, but this weekend we are going to see Andy Potts and a couple of other pros racing on it at the Ironman World Championships. Well, here I have the FSA Powerbox Spider Power Meter. It's not anything new, it's been out for a couple of years, but they have now just released their aero chainring compatible with the Powerbox. And again, a couple of riders will be racing on this here at the Ironman World Championships, just purely to work on the aerodynamics and the airflow over those chain rings. So I've got one more fun bit here from Vision. These bars were actually made for Tony Martin, so they're not actually a released product. Now, these were designed and molded to fit Tony's forearms, a little like the speed bar. We're closing that gap between the aero bar and the forearm to reduce that turbulence and drag. Now, at the moment, these are just one piece of carbon. There's no holes at the end, so I'd assume to put the gears on, they'd be cut and drilled and cables routed through. Now, as I mentioned already, these aren't an actual product to be bought at the moment, but they are talking about making them in a sort of a generic geometry and size, in a few different sizes, small, medium, large, so that most people can sort of buy them and fit them onto the bike. At the moment as well, this is just one piece of carbon going down into the Vision Metron bars, so it fits perfectly with those bolts. But I don't know, this fits quite nicely. Maybe Tony won't mind me borrowing them.
Cool, well there is loads of tech out there. That has been a long old day. If you've enjoyed it, you can hit the thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more from GTN, just click on the globe and subscribe. And there's loads of videos on screen right now for you. But for now, it's time for a cold brew.